These fire ants have become the plague of electric circuits. Their voracity impels them to attack anything electrified. Maybe they confuse the electric current with the waves emitted by their natural prey. Every year in the United States, these ants cause millions of dollars worth of damage to electrical installations. These invaders won't hesitate to transform themselves into a living raft for conquering new territories. Fire ants attack practically everything they come across: spiders, locusts, but also amphibia, frogs, toads, newts, and sick mammals.
Okay guys, the survey we did yesterday revealed a number of ant colonies. Chris, if you could bring the ant killing machine down to the park down here in the South County, we can knock out that larger area pretty quickly with that equipment. So let's get out there and kill some ants.
Chris is one of 400 inspectors of the anti-fire ant brigades. He is responsible for all the gardens of a district.
Kelly, this is Chris. We've got a positive for red imported fire ants in this backyard. We're going to need to treat the entire area. Copy, over.
Copy, Chris. We'll be right there.
Jimmy and Brian, you guys take the even number homes to treat for fire ants. Todd and I will take the odd number homes. House number 30, you can treat from either side of the neighbor's yards. Okay?
Fire ant colonies can contain up to 40 million individuals per square kilometer. Upon contact with yellow granules, the ants stop growing and the colony dies.
First time I got stung at the job, I was kneeling down to take a sample, not realizing I knelt down right on another mound. Next thing I know, there's dozens of ants all over me. They're stinging me. I just remember looking down at them going, "You're dead! I'm getting you! You're all dead!" And all the neighbors are just kind of looking at me going, "Oh man, who is this guy? What's this guy doing?" I was like, "I've got it under control. It's all right."
Now, do they leave a stinger in you like bees do?
They're not going to leave a stinger into you. So each ant, again, can sting maybe 7 or 8 times.
Their venom burns like fire, hence their name, fire ants. The venom is a 40% concentration of formic acid. Highly corrosive, it causes pus-filled pimples. Fire ants are equipped with a real sting. It comes from inheritance through the family tree going back for 100 million years, to the time when ants were wasps. This weapon, that has teeth like a harpoon, can be just as fearsome. Elderly people and children have died. Many lawyers take public authorities to court.
Quite often, patients in nursing homes are the victims of attacks by the fire ants. Fire ants find their way into their beds, and so they are stung very severely, sometimes hundreds of times, which can result in severe injury or, in some cases, death.
In spite of appearances, Dr. Porter is not mourning at the grave of a victim. He knows that fire ants do not hesitate to make their nests in loose graveyard soil. A grave digger on this occasion, Dr. Porter is collecting killer ants for his tests. He has in fact been commissioned by the government to find a fundamental weapon that would not involve the use of an expensive human army. Could these microscopic phorid flies be the solution? They attack the ants, injecting their eggs into the abdomen at the speed of lightning. This ant is doomed. In about 10 days, a fly's larva will eat away its innards and then move into its head to complete its growth. In 30 days, the larva develops into a fly in the head of its victim and then in turn lays its eggs in other ants.
flies, meanwhile, are hovering above the ants like a fleet of attack helicopters, just diving in and hitting ant after ant as much as they can. Well, if we didn't hate the ants so darn much, we'd kind of feel sorry for them. But for the rest of us, we kind of take a little bit of pleasure in watching.
Another hit. Another hit. There's two. Well, the ants look like they're doing well here. They're moving well. The flies are really hammering them, though. Looks like when they get out to the field, it will be just fine. We should have plenty of flies out there.
Probably 100 or so parasitized ants in there if we're lucky. We'll see in 3 or 4 weeks how many flies we get out.
Every parasitized ant's nest is doomed. The ultimate weapon could well be ready for action, but the population needs reassuring.
Who here has been bitten by fire ants?
Me.
Wow. What does it feel like when you get stung by a fire ant?
It feels like a bee stinging you, only not so much pain, but a little pain. Feel like something eating in your skin.
Every year you resolve to beat this team, and every year you experience the agony of defeat. But it's your home turf, so this year take control of the game.
As if to exorcise the fire, every year the town of Ashburn in Georgia organizes a festival where locals learn to laugh at fire ants. Fire ant, but in the meantime, the traffic signals are still out of service. In a single century, about 10 of the most aggressive ant species have launched attacks to dominate the world. The tiny Argentine ants have conquered the western United States. They assemble their separate colonies, which usually fought against each other, into a single fighting force of billions of individuals. Today, Argentine ants are reassembling their battalions from southern Europe into a super colony in order to wipe out other species. Mimicking the European Union, wood ants operate a common policy. In this society, there are 150 million ants. That is a phenomenal amount, but even more impressive, there are hundreds of thousands of queens that coexist in total harmony. There is no war in this system that is like a sort of federation, completely self-governing and based on a policy of mutual assistance. What is more, it never gives way to anarchy. On the contrary, 6-legged sedan chairs are even used to transport the queens between colonies, just like in the past when marriages were contracted between the royal families of European capitals to enable their people to live in peace. Arno Maeder is showered with formic acid when collecting wood ants. His objective is to identify by a particular color ants' nests that might wage a territorial war. Arno is transplanting ant citizens from the north, close to the most southerly ants' nests in the super colony. At first, all the ants are wary. After a few minutes, the genetic smell characteristics are recognized, a real European passport bonding them all together. Arno uses GPS satellite technology to pinpoint the 1,200 nests of the wood ant super colony spread out over 70 hectares, with 100 kilometers of tracks in the heart of Europe, in the Jura mountain region. Millions of ants therefore live in peace at Antopolis. Not so foolish, these ant politicians. Most of the invaders come from Central and South America. Some of them are nicknamed Huns or barbarians because of their warlike practices. Legionnaire ants, Manions from Africa or Essitons from America have no fixed address. A colony of 1 million mercenaries can eat 50,000 insects in a single day. Their civilization is based on plunder. Their hunting columns extend hundreds of meters in length, devastating everything in their path, spreading terror among small animals. The variety of ant weaponry gives them the image of warriors. Jaws, glue sprays, catapults, bladders spraying jets of formic acid, outsized claws. Their fighting instinct and their conquering armies can only inspire numerous science fiction directors.
When I came to Hollywood and I began making films, I always thought of someday making a film about ants. And I went to Panama, and they were wonderful. They were terrifying to look at. They were grotesque. They were very intelligent. They were strong. And when blown up to the size of a human, they were a real nightmare.
Let's get out of here. Come on.
Bert Gordon is not just any film director. He has produced more than 27 super productions and is a member of the Academy of Hollywood.
I believe that if ants developed into the size of man, they would be a big threat. They're very intelligent the way they are now with the tiny brain, but they would be a real threat to man.
May Berrod is an entomology professor, but she also runs a festival devoted to films about ants that she organizes with her film professor husband.
I used to be afraid of insects when I was a kid, so I can relate to people who don't like them or are phobic about them. And this festival is a way to reach those people. If, for example, we were to advertise a lecture on insect physiology, nobody would come. But if we advertise a movie with giant ants in the sewers of Los Angeles slaughtering people, we can pack the house. And once we have them in there, we can tell them a little bit about ants.
I tell you, gentlemen, science has agreed that unless something is done and done quickly, man, as the dominant species of life on Earth, will be extinct within a year. Stay in your homes, I repeat. Stay in your homes. Your personal safety, the safety of the entire city, depends upon your full cooperation with the military authorities. Yes, cities, nations, even civilization itself, threatened with annihilation.
We may be witnesses to a biblical prophecy come true, and there shall be destruction and darkness come upon creation, and the beast shall reign over the earth.
Giant ants are just scientifically not possible. If somehow an ant were to reach enormous proportions, it would have so much trouble dealing with gravity, moving around, and breathing that would probably end up collapsed on the ground, gasping for breath.
Giant ants do exist, but they're no bigger than 3 centimeters long. This queenless species, Dinoponera quadriceps, has ruthless sexual habits. The male loses its penis when coupling. Very carnivorous, this giant eats cockroaches and crickets. The Indians of South America are afraid of their stings. However, they were known to be used in certain initiation rites. It's on this woven wickerwork that some Amazon tribes placed these ants, Paraponera, of medium size, but with a long-lasting active venom. The wickerwork is placed on the chest. This ceremony proved the courage of the bridegroom on his wedding day, or symbolized the passage to manhood. In Africa, certain tribes from Cameroon punished adulterous women by having them eaten alive by ants. The Japanese and the Khmer Rouge have also used this threat to force their prisoners to talk.
Rex.
In Western society, the image of the ant is fairly positive. It's a symbol of tenacity, efficacity, vivacity. Advertisers have been inspired.
There's another one who thinks he's a polo.
Stephen Kutcher is one of the most sought-after ant trainers in Hollywood.
There we go. We're getting more activity. Looks good. We're halfway through the load.
Okay, this looks really good now.
Oh, man.
Some people ask, how difficult is it to film ants? Well, when you're filming ants, you have to think like an ant. Most people who make films think like human beings, but I think like an ant. Make sure you curve it a little bit so it doesn't go so straight. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, that will look really good. That ants take a long time to walk, so if you have an ant going a long distance, it's too much film time, so why not just do the beginning and the end? And then this run is only a short distance. You know, you only really need to get them to go that much.
Okay, that'll work out for us.
Zoo in here. This place is just crowded. That was my foot. Drop it, sugar. It's mine. Hey, where's the bathroom? Where's the bathroom? Wrong dressing room.
Stephen is full of ideas. He's even found a method of filming ants that walk underwater.
Is this a full mag?
It's a full mag. You got 10 minutes. You hold that stick for 10 minutes?
If you make it look good, I'll hold it for 10 minutes.
Stephen reckons that ants can survive for 14 days without breathing underwater. Haul me up. Roberto is back from his mission. This dentist planted himself at the heart of the ants' nests in the Brazilian rainforest to assuage his obsession with filming ants in every conceivable position. From childhood, I've had a passion for ants. Today I have a lovely house, a family, and a fine profession as a dentist. I'm in the process of abandoning this profession in order to devote myself to this passion. There are about 11,000 species of ant, and Roberto knows that there are many more to be discovered. The territorial jousting between combatant species is often very acrobatic. Each ant tries to turn its adversary on its side. By rearing up as high as possible on their feet, they try to intimidate their opponents. The outcome of such a fight can trigger a war. These legionnaire ants are in the process of invading an ant's nest to eat all its residents. And look here, they've even kidnapped the queen. She's being led away to be eaten just the same. They really are terrorists. Roberto's ants have inventive behavior. Some of them, the Aztecs, find starch in plenty at the heart of a tropical plant, the imbaoba, and that's why they nest there. In exchange, the plant benefits from protection by the ants, which chase all the parasites away. Roberto is particularly fond of the atta queens. He doesn't just admire them with his eyes. They're also very tasty. Ants are considered as the food of the 21st century. Indeed, they are especially plentiful, rich in protein, low in cholesterol. According to legend, the Jesuits taught the first Brazilians to eat ants with a view to limiting their reproduction. A single queen ant can give birth to 150 million workers. Roberto eats them fresh, preserved, or frozen. Today, Robert dos Santos Eisenberg and Olivier Anquier, a French chef who has made his fortune in Brazil, are attempting to popularize ant caviar. I am reviving a forgotten recipe, a dish of ants. Roberto, an ant specialist, will explain to us that you use Tanajur or Isa ants, depending on where they were collected. The little ones, huh? No, because they're males. So we take the big ones like that. Our great writer Monteiro Lobato would say it's Brazilian caviar. In this region, it's customary to eat ants, and the Isa is the queen of ants. So you only eat the queens? Yes, only the queens. Are they the ones with a large abdomen? Yes, they're very nutritious. These strange insects are living sugar reserves. The Aborigines call them honey ants because of their honey-like taste, and according to them, they're delicious. To survive drought conditions, these ants have developed an original system. Their workers collect nectar from a tree. They then transform themselves into living jars on legs, and they regurgitate their precious nectar in times of drought. Ah, look, there are honey ants coming from this hole. Are there ants in there? Let's dig here. Some Aborigines won't hesitate to dig more than a meter underground to get to the sweet caviar. Grandmothers still offer them to their families as traditional sweets. As for the sugar, the women extract it from the subsoil, a delicious dish for everyone and simple to prepare because all you have to do is squeeze the ant between your fingers to avoid its sting and dig out the honey pocket with your teeth.
Still today, it's a woman's traditional way of hunting for women only, not the blokes. Men sit back. So it's a woman's job. Where the ants part, and we eat it then. It's nice. Slowly. We'll eat it. What does it taste like? Yeah, well, what does it taste like? Sweet. Sweet, eh? Did you like it?
Yes. Can you get like the honey ants from different place or like under trees or anywhere?
It lives under the mulga trees. So that's the only place you can find, the mulga trees.
The town of Alice Springs wants to perpetuate this Aboriginal tradition to the extent of painting its buses in the colors of six-legged deserts. Look, here is another big nest. Take it. In the land of Mao, ants fall from the skies. These weaver ants are not only very tasty and crunchy, they are considered by the Chinese as a true panacea for one's health. Humans are not the only ones to like them. To protect themselves from predators, the ants weave their nests out of leaves in the trees. Watch out. These ant hunters are professionals. They are collecting them today to prepare their famous elixir. According to traditional Chinese medicine, the weaver ants can increase the appetite of persons suffering from cancer, can reduce pain and even aging in men. They are prescribed for everything: asthma, chronic hepatitis, poor blood circulation. Taste this. It's ant wine. It's good for you. Try some. 3 times a day, 1 glass at a time. For Mr. Lee, ants are black gold. He has made a fortune out of them. Today he has to go to the harvesters to select the best aromas. Okay, these 2 bags are good. Yes, they're the same. A little more. The Chinese are so taken with eating medicinal ants that Mr. Lee now has to obtain supplies from across the whole province, by bicycle, by boat and on foot, to keep his factory supplied. Sorting ants is still done by the use of delicate hands, but Mr. Lee uses industrial pharmaceutical machinery to convert them into powder or capsules.
蚂蚁是动物世界里面的大理石啊。
The ant is the strongest animal according to scientists, pulling 400 times its own weight, compared to 4 times for the elephant. You must eat ants to increase your strength. In summer, the weaver ant lives in the trees, and in winter, in damp soil, without ever contracting rheumatism. Ants are great against rheumatism. If Mr. Lee produces 70 tons of ant powder per year, his employees too work like ants. It is estimated that the sale of these insects by all the producers earns about $100 million per year. Some even pay for television adverts. Eat ants, it's good for your health. These Australian bulldog ants are not to be eaten. Their sting is extremely painful and dangerous. Through working with these very aggressive ants, Craig Angus has become allergic to their pheromones, resulting in sneezing fits. He's dressed in his commando gear to avoid any contact with them. Craig Angus is the assistant of Professor Andrew Beachy. They work on the antibiotic properties of ants. Craig has mastered the art of ant bondage. The objective is to extract, without killing the ant, an antiseptic substance contained in its glands. The quantity is minute, but enough to give the ant good immunity against germs. Concentrating hard, Craig checks his hold once again, while the ant tries to sting him. In this box, all the bacteria around the 2 drops of ant antibiotic have been eliminated.
Aboriginal Australians understood the antibiotic properties of ants. They would throw a cloth onto an ant nest until it was covered in ants, and then shake them off, and then bind a wound with the cloth. It must have been impregnated with antibiotics because it had immediate healing properties.
Man only discovered antibiotics 60 years ago, whereas ants have been using them for 60 million years.
The conventional use of antibiotics is causing resistance on the part of the bacteria that cause human diseases worldwide. New sources of antibiotics have to be found as quickly as possible. We believe that our research into antibiotics produced by ants and other insects will provide insights into new ways of fighting human disease.
Mushroom-growing ants also cultivate antibiotics. An electron microscope reveals a bacterial mousse attached to their backs that protects them from the risk of infection. These antibiotics are manufactured in underground chambers from chewed leaves that turn into a substratum in which the fungus grows and produces food and medicines for the colony. The mushroom-growing ants effortlessly cut up leaves with their powerful jaws. They select a wide range of vegetation as they regularly change antibiotics, as if subconsciously aware that pathogenic germs mutate. Throughout history, ants have been genuine walking and chewing pharmacists. In the Middle Ages in Europe, people used their formic acid to preserve animal corpses and to clean certain wounds. More recently, in Africa, they were used as surgical staples to close cuts. They bit into the flesh in such a way that the sides of the wound closed. Once the jaws closed, the ant's body was cut off, leaving just the insect staple. Ants didn't wait for man to learn to sew. Weaver ants even invented the weaving shuttle. Turning themselves into a living shuttle, ant larvae donate both their silk and their lives. Australian weaver ant larvae secrete silk thread from a gland under the mouth. The worker seamstress presses the larva between its jaws so as to reel the precious thread via combs on its feet. Thousands of woven threads enable the building of extremely light but resistant leaf structures, giving architects interesting ideas.
Bring it this way. Bring it this way. Keep going, keep going. Bring it this way. This structure is based on the weaver ant design. The weaver ants collect sticks and leaves and all kinds of things that they find, and they put it together with pieces of silk, just like we did with this structure.
The architect Eugene Tsui has used this principle to create very light towers capable of bearing great weight. By borrowing ideas from nature, he's seeking ways to produce environment-friendly housing that's economic, quick, safe, aesthetic, and natural. Some of his projects incorporate the technical know-how of ants in air conditioning and ventilation. In California, earthquakes, fire, and floods are a constant worry. There too, the ants are a source of inspiration.
The shape of the building is very much like the ant body. This building is shaped like that because it has to be very strong in an earthquake. And also it has this rough texture.
One wonders which ant bit him. From ant sting terraces with panoramic views to honey ant round jars, Tsui's whole world has been inspired by them.
I have to imagine myself being an ant to begin to understand why and how the ant made certain decisions to create the incredible habitats that it creates. And so by studying those habitats, it's influenced my architecture because the logic and the reasoning behind the development of these habitats could be directly applied to creating logical habitation for human beings. What's interesting is that the angle of 15 degrees, which parallels the angle of the tunnel passageways for ant colonies.
This project for a bridge linking Africa and Europe via the Straits of Gibraltar is not a pipe dream. Ants are capable of overcoming obstacles just as big in ant terms to make genuine suspension bridges. To do this, thousands of ants form themselves into cables and girders. Once the civil engineering is finished, the Queen can be carried around on her sedan chair, and thousands of workers can use the bridge safely to cross the obstacle. As Eugene Tsui examines this ant's nest skeleton, he's thinking about starting a new project, underground houses. This man is not an osteopath. Walter Chinkel is a specialist studying the underground cities of ants. For 10 years, he's been trying to find out how ants build such complex and varied nests without the help of architects or plans. Some nests reach a depth of 4 meters, which on a human scale is the equivalent of an underground city 7 kilometers deep.
How does natural selection build this set of behaviors into the individual ants so that their interaction with the environment and with each other produces these species-typical nests? That's just unknown at this point. But it is the central question.
Hey, Kevin, here's a harvester ant nest. It might be pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah.
To make a nest framework, Walter uses aluminium heated to 670 degrees Celsius.
It's rising. I think we got it.
Contact with the molten aluminium could be dangerous for non-specialists.
Okay, lay it down. We got it. Watch out.
In this underground city, 8,000 harvester ants once lived. Some ants have devised a spiral staircase, others an endless screw. Walter has started a survey of different ant habitats. This special convoy is not carrying an ant's nest for Walter Chinkle's survey. In Italy, they move ants' nests from one forest to another, not to send the wood ants on holiday, but to set them to work. If ants are sometimes a curse for farmers, they are very useful to man. They're excellent exterminators of processionary caterpillars that ravage pine trees. Processionary caterpillars devour large quantities of pine needles, but fortunately the ant lies in wait for them. Forest rangers know that the presence of wood ant colonies in the forest is a sign of good health. An Italian law dating from 1880 imposes a heavy fine on anyone destroying an ant's nest.
Certo che ormai fa caldo, eh? Guarda lì quanti nidi.
Quest'anno ne sono proprio tanti.
E ormai la
For Paolo Ballardini, the pines are already full of processionary nests.
Sì,
Sono tutte giù.
Con questa stagione qua sì.
Vero?
It's spring. The caterpillars are emerging from their nests in Indian file, forming long processions. But Paolo Ballardini of the Monte Alp Reserve is watching. In Italy, since the 50s, forest rangers have been taking entire wood ants' nests from the mountains, but such nests are becoming fewer. Carried in trucks, these ants are introduced into areas overrun with pine-eating caterpillars. At the end of the summer, Paolo collects the butterfly traps to check whether the caterpillars have completed the metamorphosis in spite of the ants.
Numero 7. Vediamo un po'. 2, 3 e una
3, 4.
Ok,
That's
siamo
normal.
direi nella normalità.
Paolo notes that certain butterflies have already managed to lay their eggs in the pine needles, but fortunately the only worker around is an ant already busy filling her larder with fresh eggs. It's estimated that several million different prey are caught in a season by a single colony. Ants are hard-working, but they always know the shortest route between a source of food and their nest. This know-how has been snapped up by computer technicians to revolutionize the world of logistics based on ant algorithms. A new client wants to know if we will be able to apply these algorithms to optimize his distribution and transport network. The mail service in Denmark has the problem of finding the shortest route for mailmen to deliver mail to a large number of points in a town, but the number of possible solutions is so huge that even with all the computers on Earth, we'd be dead long before they'd finished their calculations. We research and use ant algorithms to locate optimum solutions as quickly as possible. Companies such as Southwest Airlines have to regularly unblock freight. By applying ant algorithms to freight transport, these carriers reduce flows and thus save hundreds of thousands of dollars each day. But how have these ant algorithms been perfected? By studying ant pheromones, French scientists have formulated the equation. As you've seen, they've already taken the shortest route. The choice has been made. They've laid more pheromones on the shortest path. We see that those who've taken the longest route have made a U-turn. Eventually, the direct route to food will be marked with more pheromones, the chemical signals of ants. And the ants will naturally choose the best marked trail. The engineers have converted this concept into a mathematical algorithm to find the fastest route as quickly as possible. To avoid traffic jams, ants' algorithms are also applied. When the traffic is flowing, the ants leave a dense chemical trail showing the right direction. Where traffic slows, the trail is less marked. All they need to do is follow the dense trail to avoid a jam. Routers use the same method for information on the net, as do parcels and vehicles, using the clearest route. Ants also use pheromones to get their bearings in the dark ant's nest. Certain ant species breed livestock, aphids, for their honeydew and their meat that ants love. To catch them, the ants use a lasso made from silk thread impregnated with pheromones. Pheromones also help ants to design their underground cities. The tiny space between rooms is obtained thanks to construction plans left by chemical signals. Laurent Keller is also trying to replicate the collective intelligence of ants to make artificial ants. This could be good. You see there, he's pushing the stone hard. Just like here, there are two of them pushing like rock ants. That's standard engineering. One robot breaks down, but the others carry on working. Even house cleaners could be made redundant by robots with insect brains. Today we're a long way from the first humanoid machines. These little robots are designed to work together like ants. You can imagine all sorts of applications for a group of robots getting together. For example, to clean an apartment, do the housework, or a group of robots used to clean up a radioactive zone. And to do that, we'll be copying what we've seen ants doing. What is missing from industrial robots that copy humans is the independence of ant decision-making. Ants, even with their very primitive nervous systems, can do several jobs without a boss. In less than 50 years' time, miniature robots will invade our world and start working like ants.
While you were watching this film, 210 billion ants and 14,000 humans were born. 150 billion ants and 5,000 humans died.